Fans are devastated by Erin Bates' terrible health issue, and her family is more dependent than ever on their faith. The cherished reality TV mom's everyday life has been irrevocably altered by the sad loss of function in her right leg following an abrupt and terrifying fight with sepsis. According to reports, the tragedy started when Erin had a serious infection that swiftly got out of hand. When the body reacts aggressively to an infection, it can cause sepsis, a potentially fatal illness, expanded quickly throughout her body, leaving her family and medical professionals fighting for her life. Even though she persevered through the worst of times thanks to her courage and fortitude, the fallout has been devastating. There is permanent damage to her right leg. Erin has been receiving extensive medical attention and rehabilitation in an effort to restore his mobility, according to those close to the Bates family. But there remains a long and unpredictable road ahead. She was once renowned for her lively enthusiasm and proactive role as a hands-on mom. Erin must now deal with the unpleasant reality of adjusting to a life where his mobility is restricted. During this difficult time, her family has come together to support her, offering prayers and their faith as a source of courage. As Erin learns to cope with the psychological and physical effects of her illness, her husband, Chad Payne, has supported and cared for her throughout the process. Gil and Kelly Bates, her parents, are reportedly devastated but hopeful, pleading with supporters to keep Erin in their thoughts. Strives for healing. Social media has also been inundated with love, support, and encouragement from Bringing Up Bates fans. Erin's experience serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers of sepsis and the significance of early medical assistance, as many have expressed disbelief at how fast life can change. Erin's unshakable faith remains evident in spite of the catastrophe. Despite her grief, she has decided to concentrate on being thankful for having survived such a horrific experience, in keeping with the Bates family's tradition. Her leg's loss of function. According to those closest to her, she is adamant about moving forward because she believes that God has a bigger plan and that her story would encourage others going through similar struggles. With the help of her family's affection and the prayers of thousands of followers worldwide, Erin is currently living day by day. Even if her path has taken a tragic turn, she continues to battle, demonstrating once more the extraordinary fortitude and tenacity that have made her one of the most adored familial members of the Bates. Few tales have moved viewers of Bringing Up Bates more than Erin Bates's most recent health struggle as they continue to follow the lives of the adored family. Erin, one of the most adored Bates children, was formerly renowned for her bright smile, musical ability, and composed demeanor. However, after problems during childbirth left her unable to use her right leg, her life has taken a tragic turn. The timing of the ordeal is doubly more tragic because her sister was happily. Erin endured one of the toughest periods of her life in silence while she celebrated online. Viewers have been captivated by the contrast between joy and sorrow, which has led to a flood of inquiries, concerns, and sympathy for the Bates family as they navigate this delicate time in their lives. Erin Bates, a well-liked former cast member of the popular reality TV show Bringing Up Bates, has always had a narrative about tenacity, faith, and family loyalty. She has gained the respect of her fans throughout the years, not just for her lovely disposition and musical ability, but also for her capacity to handle adversity with poise. Erin recently experienced one of her most difficult obstacles to date, a serious hospitalization that caused much concern among her fans, friends, and family. Erin has now returned home following weeks of tears, prayers, and innumerable words of support from her devoted fan base. Her recuperation ushers in a new era for both her individual journey and the larger story of what it means to live in the spotlight while juggling family obligations, health issues, and faith in a greater power. Initial reactions to the news of Erin Bates' hospitalization were a combination of surprise and worry. Erin has consistently been presented as one of the Bates family's strongest and most devoted daughters by those who have watched them since their days on reality shows. Her extraordinary piano prowess, unshakable faith, and love for her husband Chad Payne and their family are well known. Kids. There was a surge of concern and sympathy when she was abruptly thrown into a medical emergency. While her parents and siblings provided updates and prayers to comfort the public, fans poured onto social media to show their support. Erin's demand for solitude during a vulnerable time was balanced with candor by the Bates family, who are always open about their challenges and victories. The public has always been aware of Erin's health. Previously, she has been candid about some of her struggles, which included surgeries and persistent issues that made life more difficult than it appeared on TV. Fans have always been able to witness her shine over her musical career, which has been full of records, concerts, and church appearances. But behind the scenes, she occasionally had to deal with weariness, pain, and health issues that tried her will. All of those difficulties were brought back into focus by this most recent hospitalization, which forced not just herself, but also her loved ones, to reconsider what it means to take bold action. After hospitalization, going home involves more than just entering a familiar environment after leaving a sterile chamber. It stands for recovery, a fresh start, and the re-establishment of optimism. Erin felt that her husband and kids, who had missed her presence the most, were waiting for her when she entered her house. After being apart for days, seeing her children rush to embrace her is the type of... Even those who have never met the Bates family could clearly picture this scene. It is the common tongue of reunion, love, and family. Her husband, Chad, has been her rock during this tragedy, taking care of the kids and running the family while simultaneously supporting Erin in the hospital. Every update he posted demonstrated his devotion, highlighting both the depth of their relationship and his love for Erin. Their union, which has been praised by and featured in Bringing Up Bates. Viewers were once again shown how faith and dedication can get a relationship through their worst moments. Erin's hospitalization and return home had a cascading effect on the entire Bates family, affecting each sibling, parent, and in-law. A huge family, the Bates are renowned for their solidarity and capacity to support one another in trying times. Erin's parents, Gil and Kelly Bates, spoke about their daughter's health struggle with obvious emotion. Their expressions of appreciation for the medical professionals, nurses, and other caregivers who put in many hours to stabilize Erin highlight how brittle life can be and how much they value each of their kids. Strong Christian principles have served as the foundation for the Bates family's heritage, and they relied largely on their religion during this ordeal. In addition to praying for Erin's recovery, they also prayed for her husband and kids, who had to deal with life without her for a time frame. Additionally, Erin's siblings helped to assist her while she was in the hospital. Many of them sent messages and posts that showed their unwavering sibling bond and their concern. Fans who have seen the Bates children grow up on TV found it touching to see how those early ties have developed into supportive and caring adult connections. In order to show their affection for Erin, sisters Alyssa, Carlin, and Tori frequently recalled past experiences or demonstrating the significance of her in their life. The idea that Erin is surrounded by a family that will never leave her to face adversity alone was further supported by the addition of brothers' voices. Erin was buoyed by this obvious display of affection, as was her fan base, which participated in prayer and gained inspiration from the family's religion. But Erin's journey doesn't finish when he returns home. This marks the start of a new phase. After being admitted to the hospital, recovery is frequently gradual, with brief intervals of irritation. Erin has been open about the fact that she needs constant care and attention for her condition. Fans are overjoyed to see her home, but many also understand that it will take some time for her to fully recover. A wider discussion on how viewers perceive reality TV stars in their lives has been spurred by this fact. Audiences expect perfection much too frequently, forgetting that real people with real challenges are behind the cameras. Viewers are reminded by Erin's journey that humanity and vulnerability are just as much a part of the narrative as the happy moments that were filmed. Erin's return home has an emotional impact that extends beyond her immediate family. For bringing up Bates supporters, her comeback represents fortitude in the face of hardship. Numerous fans related their own experiences of hospital stays, diseases, and personal hardships, saying that Erin's bravery motivated them to keep going. Heartfelt remarks from people who had never met Erin but felt a strong connection to her story were all over social media. The Bates family's tale has always been one of extreme vulnerability and prominence. From the time they opened their Tennessee home to the popular reality show Bringing Up Bates, fans developed an emotional attachment to each significant event, failure, and personal detail of their lives. Erin Bates Payne has long been a cherished character among the 19 Bates children. She gained a unique reputation for her kindness, musical ability, and love for her husband Chad and their kids. A spot in fans' hearts. Erin has, however, been put to the test in ways that no one could have foreseen. Erin experienced serious birth problems during the delivery of one of her children, which eventually led to a disastrous health catastrophe. As a result of her body's struggle for survival, Erin lost the use of her leg, ending what had started off as a happy celebration of the birth of a new baby. Her ordeal's timing produced a dramatic contrast in the story of the Bates family. Erin was lying there in excruciating pain, and, despite the uncertainty, one of her sisters was rejoicing online by posting happy family photos that depicted life as usual. This juxtaposition was based on the intricacies of a large, well-publicized family rather than apathy. The Bates siblings lead separate lives, frequently living in different locations, and occasionally their reactions to crises are broadcast live online. Those that follow more than one member of the Bates family notice the difference right away. As Erin's prayers were being offered, throughout her recuperation, another sibling was sharing happy pictures online, which sparked discussions about how families balance both public happiness and private sorrow. When difficulties worsened into an emergency in the days after her child's birth, Erin's medical crisis started. One of the most serious postpartum consequences a mother might experience is septic shock, which she developed as a result of a severe infection. Under the strain of illness, the body systems start to malfunction. Blood pressure decreases, and vital organs and limbs are difficult for circulation to reach. Physicians worked quickly, giving life-saving treatments, strong drugs, and water. Although Erin's survival was miraculous in and of itself, her leg was also damaged. Her right leg suffered permanent damage as a result of the restricted blood flow during her period in septic shock, which prevented her from using it to its full potential. What ought to have been the most joyful time in a mother's life swiftly turned into a path of healing, adjustment, and emotional processing. For Erin, it was terrible to face the reality of losing mobility. Being involved in every part of her 5 young children's life and being hands-on is a big part of who she is. It broke her heart to discover that she was physically unable to follow them in the yard or stand in the kitchen and cook for them without experiencing discomfort or difficulty. She has talked about having emotional breakdowns when watching her kids play and wished she could join them with the same vigor she used to have. Also, the piano developed into a more intricate partnership. Erin, who was well known for her musical abilities, took comfort in performing even in the face of adversity. However, prolonged sitting or changing her position served as yet another reminder of the physical toll her body had taken. Erin has, nevertheless, also displayed a quiet and unwavering strength. Instead of giving up, she has turned to her religion and her husband Chad, who has been her true partner, for support. While she was in the hospital, at her bedside, Chad maintained vigil. He was torn between being with his wife while she battled for her life and taking care of their kids at home. He became her rock in the aftermath while she battled her leg, filling in for her in situations that called for tolerance, compassion, and fortitude. This chapter demonstrated the depth of their relationship to fans who have long loved their marriage in a way that no pre-written TV show could. Gil and Kelly the Bates' parents, quickly hurried to Erin's side, heartbroken by what their daughter persevered but was resolved to offer support. They talked about how helpless they felt as they saw Erin go through such a terrifying ordeal. But they also expressed their gratitude to God for saving her life. Each child's crises affects dozens of siblings, nieces, nephews, and in-laws in a family as big as theirs. Erin's illness affected not just her immediate family, but also the larger Bates clan, who all offered their support in various ways. In the meanwhile, the general, because of the Bates family's dynamics, Erin's crises coincided with the developmental milestones of other siblings. Unaware of how fans would interpret the timing, one of her sisters posted happy updates on social media, commemorating her own life achievements. This appeared startling to several viewers. While another family member seemed carefree, they witnessed Erin fighting for her health and mobility. Social media conversations occasionally became heated, with some people criticizing the sibling who was celebrating of being insensitive. Others defended her by pointing out that happy and sad times frequently coexist, and that life in a large family is complicated. Even while they are quite private about such things, the Bates themselves served as a subliminal reminder that, despite their many commonalities, they are still people navigating circumstances that do not always fit the public's ideal view. The greater reality of what it takes to live a family life in the spotlight was highlighted by contrast. Ordinary families respond to crises by quietly, away from anyone who could question or criticize their timing. However, every post, absence, and outward manifestation becomes a topic of conjecture for the Bates. Erin has made the decision to put more emphasis on her thankfulness for her survival, her family support, and the prayers of her admirers worldwide than on the seeming discord. She has stated that, despite the fact that she is unable to walk in the same manner as before, she views every day spent with her children as a blessing that should be treasured. Supporters have reacted with a great deal of empathy. Many people shared their personal experiences of septic shock, difficult births, and drawn-out recuperations in the flood of messages that came in from all over the nation and beyond. As they dealt with their own health issues, some told Erin that her fortitude offered them hope. Others pledged to keep praying for complete recovery. Erin's experience became more than a personal narrative during these conversations. It served as a reminder to everyone of how fleeting life is, how unpredictable childbirth is, and how strong one must be to withstand stress. Because of their big family dynamic and the unvarnished honesty with which they have shared their hardships, victories, and intensely personal experiences, the Bates family has grown to become one of America's most watched reality TV dynasties. Erin Bates' pain has long been a favorite among them. Erin is well known for her talent as a musician, her kind disposition, her love for her husband Chad and their 5 kids, and her readiness to talk candidly about her condition. Equal parts strength and vulnerability. However, even her most devoted supporters have been shocked by her recent health problems. Erin experienced septic shock, a horrific medical catastrophe that left her struggling for her life, following the delivery of her most recent kid. Even though she overcame that struggle because to her strong will, medical assistance, and strong faith, the fallout has been just as devastating. According to Erin, she is currently unable to use her right leg, a condition that has significantly changed her day-to-day activities. This provoked heartfelt outpourings of sympathy from the large following of the Bates family. It is hard for viewers who grew up seeing Erin on the family sitcom to accept that Bates is disabled, given the lively, musically gifted woman they were familiar with on TV. In previous seasons, she was frequently spotted leading church worship, playing the piano with elegance and poise, or embracing the duties of a young wife and mother with enthusiasm. Seeing her trapped and constrained in her movements, and confronting the question of whether she would be able to use her leg fully again is to see an entirely new chapter in her life, one that is full of adversity and tenacity. Another emotional dimension is added by the fact that this crisis occurred after the happy event of childbirth. Pain, medical procedures, and the terrifying specter of death overshadowed what should have been a season full of the simple joys of baby cuddles, family gatherings, and the benefits of motherhood. Along with that comes septic shock. Septic shock, a serious and sometimes lethal illness brought on by an overwhelming infection, happens quickly and without warning. Erin's battle started soon after she gave birth to her child. What began as a normal postpartum recuperation rapidly turned into a potentially fatal circumstance. As quickly as possible, the doctors stabilized her, gave her emergency care, and gave her potent drugs. Later, her husband Chad said those were some of the saddest hours of his life. Confronted, admitting that he was afraid of losing the woman he considers the center of their household. The truth of Erin's precarious condition was sobering to fans who were informed through well-crafted family announcements. Many others prayed with the family, believing that she would survive and that her fortitude and faith would carry her through. Erin escaped septic shock, but the consequences of the event have left her with persistent issues that still influence her day-to-day existence. The most obvious is her incapacity to utilize her right leg, a memento of her ordeal. Physicians think the damage was caused by the stress of septic shock, which was exacerbated by the consequences of rigorous therapies and circulation problems while she was in the hospital. The loss of movement is painful and frustrating for Erin, who has always been physically active and committed to hands-on mothering. Her days used to be marked by simple activities like roaming the house with her kids, running errands, standing to prepare meals, or sitting at the piano too. Practice are now obstacles that she needs to overcome with endurance, flexibility, and patience. It is impossible to overestimate the emotional toll that this illness takes. Erin, who has always been open about her health issues, has talked about having intensely depressing moments as she accepts the constraints her body now places on her. It has been especially upsetting to watch her kids play as she sits there unable to join them. Nevertheless, despite her grief, she has shown appreciation for life, acknowledging that it was very miraculous to survive septic shock. Her will to persevere, pursue rehabilitation therapies, and rely on her family for both practical and emotional support is strengthened by this thankfulness. Chad Payne has played an absolutely amazing role during this event. As Erin's partner, he has juggled taking care of their 5 kids, running the home, and helping his wife get through her most trying times. His remarks on her have exposed the strength of their relationship. He has referred to her as a warrior, commended her faith, and conveyed his pride in her ability to persevere. This predicament has given their love story, which fans initially seen develop when they brought up Bates, a greater dimension. Their marital vows have been put to the test in both good and bad times, and their unwavering togetherness has always held. Erin and Chad's journey serves as a reminder to viewers who frequently romanticize the fairy tale romances depicted on reality television that true love is most distinctly stated in terms of difficulty. Erin has also been surrounded by unwavering support from the Bates family. The matriarch and patriarch of the family, Gil and Kelly have supported and comforted their daughter while also offering helpful advice. The need to nurture and protect never goes away for parents of 19 children. Additionally, Erin's medical care served as a reminder to them that their children would always remain their babies, regardless of how old they get. Erin's brothers have alternated between coming to visit, helping with childcare, as well as openly showing their affection for their sister. Carlin, Alyssa, and Tori are just a few of the sisters who have posted on social media to express how much Erin means to them. The Bates link is strong, as seen by the chorus of love created by the brothers' expressions of admiration for her bravery. In addition to improving Erin's mood, this support network has given fans peace of mind that she is never fighting alone. The fans themselves have made a big part in Erin's healing process. There was an instant outpouring of love when word initially broke of her septic shock and the complications that followed. The family's social media pages were inundated with thousands of comments of support, encouragement, and prayers. Numerous people talked about their personal experiences with postpartum issues,